Hey guys, Discipline Magic here, and today was the Kaldheim release on Arena with basically no warning whatsoever that I knew about. I was completely blindsided by it, but no surprises here. We've got a hyper-control drawn-out decks with all that blue-white garbage that they added. We've got the virtually unbeatable deck, which is low-cost Giants. Saw that coming with the asymmetric board wipes that no deck can survive. And of course, Bone Crusher Giant, which should have been banned about 100 years ago. And I am absolutely ripping people's heads clear off their body with my new Angel Lifelink deck. So it's pretty much exactly what I said the meta would be after the release of this trash. Strangely, I haven't run into Death Touch Infect yet, but I'm getting reports from other people like on my Discord and stuff that are saying, yeah, it's ridiculous. Like even people said, I built it, I'm playing it, and I won 10 games in a row with it. So odd that I'm at 88% Mythic and haven't seen it yet after playing all day, but you know, whatever. But since that's about all there is to say about Kaldheim so far, well, that was a minute video. Let's talk about a topic that I'm sure some of you will be surprised by, but let's just say shouldn't be surprised by if you're familiar with Wizards of the Coast. So you may have heard a while ago that the WPN tier structure was redone, basically. It used to be 4 levels and they had all these dumb requirements and it was like really easy to slip back down, and then if you did, they like threatened to ban you from the whole program, and it was just bad. It was so poorly designed, so like manipulation promoting, I guess would be the term. You really had to misrepresent your stats, let's put it that way. But it was based on like the number of events you hold, so like official events and tournaments like FNM and stuff, and the number of new people you signed up for a DCI number, and unique player count per year and that kind of stuff. Strangely, I think it wasn't tied to sales. So what are they doing now? Well, they got rid of the 4 levels and now they have regular and WPN premium, and that's it. So how do you get to premium? I just read an overview of it when they were kind of like saying, hey, we're going to make this change in the next couple months. Here's a basic overview of what you'll have to do. And I was like, okay, that sounds reasonable, whatever. Now, and by now I mean July when they posted this, they have outlined the specific things that you need to do. We are going to read them. You're going to be disgusted. So first of all, I mean, there's point of sale data. It literally says point of sale data is required each month. We will request the following fields: date and time of transaction for all Wizards of the Coast sealed products, transaction number, UPC and or SKU, product description, quantity sold, units sold price, and total item prices. Are you f***ing kidding me? Hey Wizards, that is none of your f***ing business. I can sell whatever the f*** I want, whenever the f*** I want, to whoever the f*** I want, for whatever the f*** price I feel like, and it's not getting reported to you, so you can come call me up and say, that was sold too high, that was sold too low. What a bunch of not just socialist far lefty morons at this company trying to like micromanage every little dollar that you make and spend at your company so that they can tell you how to do it differently. That's straight up like communist bullshit. Oh, I just pulled up this little thing that says first sale doctrine, and it says right under it, F you, Wizards. The problem is it's not like a legal thing, it's just like a moral thing. It's a way you do business. It's something you should base it on. It's like if a company changes its terms of use and then it like starts enforcing it from a time before they change their terms of use, they're not going to get hauled in front of the Supreme Court for violating the ex post facto amendment. And that's because they're not making laws. They're not a government agency, but like it's a guideline. You don't just change your commercial policy and then start enforcing it from a time before you changed it, when the people violating your terms of service didn't know it was against the terms of service because at the time it wasn't. So yeah, they're a private company. They can deny selling their products to whatever store they want for whatever reason they want, which is not true. You can't just be like, this store is run by a black person, I'm not going to sell them our product. No, that would be illegal. Oh wait, I forgot this is Wizards we're talking about. This store is run by a white male, so we're not going to sell them anything. But yeah, they're under no obligation to sell anybody anything, to allow any store to sell their products. They can pull it at any time. What they can't do is saying that if you acquired it elsewhere that you can't sell our products at your store. That's illegal. They can't tell you to do that. But this isn't just, oh, we're going to pull our products from your shelves, screw you, you're cut off. This is the WPN program that you're qualifying for. So your ability to hold F&M and get marketing materials, promotion, a listing on Wizards' website as a play area, all that stuff, that's all part of the WPN program. If they kick you out of that because you're not playing by the way they want you to, there's no legal recourse. It's just whatever. They're being assholes. That's you can't take it to court and say, hey, judge, they're being assholes. Tortious business interference, illegal discrimination. I mean, it's Wizards. You might be able to get away with something like that, but otherwise, no, you got no legal standing whatsoever. So that first requirement is absolutely beyond ridiculous. It's not just, oh, we want one little snapshot to get a feel for your size and how you're doing business. Make sure you're not ripping people off, scalping stuff, whatever. No, it says we will request the following fields monthly. If this is all to crack down on sales online, first of all, people are just going to make up a customer name or just not track customer names and say, oh yeah, I sold this locally. Here's the SKU. Here's the price. Screw you. And just not say that there's shipping involved. So this does nothing for that. If that was the only reason they did it, I'd be like, fine, go for it. Because that's killing their products, honestly. Too many people just taking their boxes and throwing them online for a $2 profit. And then because it's only a $2 profit, it's not worth their time. They order 1,000 boxes instead of the 20 that they can actually sell at their store. And then suddenly you've got everybody doing it. And no matter how hot the product is, the box goes for $80 on eBay. Wizards wants to stop that. All they really needed to do was stop Sports and More, which it looks like they did. Whoever was behind that apparent racket, in my opinion. So just to read the headers here in the article that breaks it down for people, the first one is the bar is high. The second one is point of sale data is required each month. The third one is use these tools to create a floor plan. That's right. They want to approve your floor plan. Take your floor plan and shove it up your ass. They used to tell you to just take a photo. If they even gave enough of a shit to do that, usually they left it up to the distributors. And then you're like, this is my play area. Count the tables. They're done. Okay. Easy. You just needed like a play area that could seat like X amount of people. It's real simple. So they've got different like templates that you can fill out. They want to send you to floorplanner.com, which I'm sure isn't free, or floorplancreator.net, which is probably also not free, or SketchUp, which is no longer free. That was a giant scam made by Google. Give it out for free for 5 years. Make sure every college adopts it because AutoCAD is $6,000 a seat, and then start charging money for it. The old bait and switch. At my old company, we heard some millennial dumb who's like, we never learned AutoCAD at my shitty liberal college because it was expensive. So we learned SketchUp. So your whole company has to switch to SketchUp because of me. I literally asked her, why did we hire you if you don't know how to use AutoCAD? Bitch, you better learn. Then I recommended to the GM that they fire her, and because she was an intern in the past, they felt that would be rude, so we picked up SketchUp and changed how we did things, just for her projects, and then gave her all the shitty projects because AutoCAD works better, and plugged into our other $100,000 software. I fucking hate SketchUp, and I fucking hate Google. You know what? Don't buy a $200 copy of SketchUp, whatever the hell they inflated it to now, just to send a floor plan to Wizards. Draw it with crayons. Have whatever little kids stop into the store with their parents sign it in crayon. And then don't scan it in. That's too classy. Take a picture with your cell phone, the way that Wizards pretends to leak cards all the time, and send that to the dumb f***s over at Wizards to go approve. You know what? Build it in Minecraft to scale. And then take a screenshot of that and say, this is my not just 2D, but 3D layout of my store. But wait, there's more. This is actually the reason I want to make the entire video, besides dumping on the absolute horseshit that they require from you these days. There is the, quote, premium quality checklist. I don't think that they make you prove these, but if they ever found one single piece of evidence that you violated one of these things or even lied about it in the first place, boom, you're kicked out of the WPN program, bare minimum 6-month suspension, I guarantee it. And you're probably thinking, oh, what is it? Like, clean bathrooms, staff that isn't a bunch of dicks, and, an actual place to play. Oh, let me check those 3. Oh, you think there's 3? Oh, you must be new to Wizards of the Coast. No, there's 47 of them. They even separated them by sections. Let's go to design, where they tell you how to design your own store, which sells other things than just Wizards of the Coast garbage. First, store sign, highly visible, permanent. Not that my store was ever in the WPN network. I never even bothered to apply because we literally didn't have a play area. But debatably, that first one just disqualified my store. I mean, it was screwed to the building. It wasn't, some paper in the window. It wasn't a movable sandwich sign. But anyway. So number 2, store hours, highly visible and permanent. Now that one disqualified my store. I had it on paper on the window. Really nice paper. It was like 32-pound paper. It was really nice. But you know why I did that? Because we change it once in a while. Because I run my business the way I fucking want to. In the way that works for me and makes me the most money. You dumbasses. What a bunch of controlling cunts these people are. Seriously, that is so typical of these lefty assholes who want to control all speech on the internet. They want to control what everybody says, how they act, where they work, how they do business. They feel like they can control everything because they can go on Twitter and report whoever they want. And because their team controls all of media, half the courts, and half the country. Well, f*** them. Private business owners can run their store however the f*** they want. They can post their hours wherever the f*** they want, in however permanent of a manner they f***ing want. You control-obsessed douchebags. So it goes on. Exterior, well-maintained and inviting. What a useless waste of space that is on this list. Oh no, in my opinion, my store's a shithole. Let me just not check that box. Interior layout and design has to be inviting and comfortably navigable. Yeah, so no cramming it into some little Japanese street stall that's 200 square feet where you can't even fit between the aisles. Okay, got it. What business is that of theirs when 10% of the shelf is, their products? None. Absolutely none whatsoever. Merchandising has to be clearly defined, organized by brand, audience, shape, etc. That's right, you're not getting into the WPN program unless you organize your store inventory by shape. Not the way your customers want it, not the way you want it, not the way that makes sense or sells, the way that Wizards want you to. I know, I get it, this list was written by a clueless absolute moron, just an absolute dumbass who doesn't know how to do their job. What they should have said is just non-cluttered inventory layout. Done. No, they're not done with the micromanaging in the parentheses. No, they want to tell you exactly how to run your business because they think you're an idiot. Next up, interior signage, labels, pricing, matching, highly legible. Once again, none of your f***ing business. In some stores, especially boutique stores, they want you to see the item first, fall in love with it, then wonder what the price is, then pick it up, already be holding it, which is like halfway to buying it, and then they always put a tiny little price tag on the back or the bottom. You know why? Because that's a marketing tactic, or like a sales tactic. It's not really marketing. So if you've got like a $200 model of a dragon that's a foot tall that was made by some, Japanese import company, and it's technically for sale, but really it's like, just a nice thing to put on the shelf. Oh, well, you better hang a 1-inch price tag from its neck, not put the price on the bottom. Like you logically would, so that somebody sees the item first and doesn't get sticker shock before they even consider buying it in their head. You want the last thing that they see to be the price. So actually you should do the opposite of Wizards is telling you to in almost any store. Unless it's a discount store where the whole thing is, look at this, it's only 99 cents. Then you want it to be prominent. If it's fairly expensive, like for example, a booster box of Wizards of the Coast products, you do not want to prominently feature in big letters the 3-digit price tag, because then sticker shock will drive people away. You want them to see, a whole booster box. 36 are in here. There's 36 rares. It's from the latest set. It's standard legal. Okay, now how much is it? Now that I'm already in love with it and have decided I want it, now how much is the price? Not, look, a booster box. $130, forget that. I'm not even going to read what the box says. So my recommendation is run the store in the way that actually works, put the price tag wherever the f*** you want, and just lie to Wizards and put a check on this box. Sorry to say it, but that's what I'd recommend you do. Next up, the fixtures must be high quality, clean, in excellent repair. Every single LGS I've ever been to uses those cheap-ass $30 white folding Walmart tables. So there you go, they're all in violation. And one of them had 120 people at the pre-release that I went to. I think it was about a 4,000 square foot store. So sorry, they're in violation. You didn't waste enough money on furniture. Sorry, you were efficient and you used folding tables instead of antique oak carved heavy 300-pound tables that don't fold up or stack. Your lighting has to be, quote, excellent overall. Who gives a shit? What does that even mean? You walk into Olive Garden, no, it's too dim in here. It's called ambiance. In fact, you have to pronounce it that way too. It's part of the ambiance of the word ambiance. What, do you have to have a professional lighting design company come in and design your lighting for your shitty store? Are you kidding me? Or are they just saying, make sure your lighting isn't so dim that people trip over things and die from clunking their heads on your bookcases? Really? They needed to tell me that? When that's already a law? In all 50 states? Oh, get this. They're going to circle back around from fixtures to specifically tables and chairs. Matching. They all have to match. That is a rule, or they will kick you out of the WPN program. In excellent repair, I think you mean excellent condition, not in need of repair. Who is this written by? Clearly it's some kind of English/feminist dance therapy major because they don't, hire anybody else. But wow, they must have really not paid attention to their little English literature section of their degree, because that's an amazingly inaccurate statement. Then it just says high quality, which is hyphenated? Really? I mean, that's barely considered a compound adjective at this point. I used to be an editor for a company worth more than Hasbro, by the way, so I just throw in those little things when I see them. Then there's an asterisk at the end of high quality. At the bottom of the page, it says see appendix, and then you scroll down to the appendix, and it's pictures that they stole from an IKEA catalog, I would assume. So your chairs have to be one of these 3 models, your tables have to be one of these 3 models, your trash bins have to be these $500 models, and then it says images provided examples but are not the only acceptable options. So that was a fun little rabbit hole that led to nowhere and told me nothing. But you should see these. Like literally, I've done some business liquidation fixture sales and stuff. That's about $300. That's about $200. Those vary. Those are actually pretty cheap. Those aren't. Those are about $30 a piece. Let's see. Yes, I know I'm not showing them on the screen. I'm just telling you. Those style tables, especially the 2 on the left, are at least $100 models. At least. Those trash bins, I couldn't even tell you. That $300 for that one for sure. Then card storage, I mean, they basically just pulled those out of a post office. They're like those ultra high slotted ones. One of the ones they showed I know has a really strict weight limit, so that's actually kind of funny. If you use that, you would actually probably have a collapse on you and die. And then they threw in a metal sliding tool holder thing. Huh. Yeah, if you're going for that $1,000 overpriced garage look. Oh, this card pull has been sponsored by Craftsman. This is the most uninformed, clueless, how not to run your store shit I've ever seen in my life. This is amazing. All right, let's burn through the rest of these. Here we go. All right, Magic set-specific marketing materials. Yes, they send them to you, put them up. I mean, duh. They also say, like, it can't be older than 12 months. Yeah, cycle them. I mean, I know every store I've ever been to left up, like, M14 art because it looked cool, so I guess that's against the rules. And then they wrote literally the exact same thing for the next line. Magic branding logos are current. And then the next line is the exact same thing, basically. Posters and other imagery. Appropriate, congenial, framed/kept in matching, high-quality display. What is it, the damn Mona Lisa? It's a poster they sent you in the mail that costs 17 cents to run off. You tape it to the wall, not put it inside of a glare-free $500 frame, and you don't, perfectly center them in matching order. Holy shit, you'll be lucky if the store doesn't put it up with duct tape. Get over yourselves, you pretentious. And then Magic product, all standard sets available. So whether it's secure or not, you gotta have them all on the shelf being shown, which is why most people put them behind the counter because they're such a high theft item. But they all have to be on display. Some of the products, in fact, all of the products, I would assume. It said all standard sets. I would assume all products from all sets. I mean, they didn't say that, but. So that is just the design part. Let's go to housekeeping. Environment has to be clean, clutter-free, organized, including but not limited to the point-of-sale shelves, windows, displays, and restrooms. Yeah, it probably should be. What's their standard? What are they comparing it to? What would be acceptable? What's not? Who knows? This whole checklist is bullshit, and every single last vendor on the planet is just going to check them all while skimming them and barely reading them. The restrooms have to be clean, well supplied, in excellent repair, including permanent hygiene fixtures like soap and hand drying. I mean, yeah, that's honestly a law in some places. Boy, I feel bad for all the LGSs that are just a tent with an outhouse or a porta potty with a temporary sign and duct tape. Hygiene. Staff follows local recommendations and requirements. Really? Really? The one where the community would finally have your back. The first one where we'd be like, yes, no matter what you put there, you just go, I don't know, follow local recommendations. What, because everybody in Seattle is a smelly hipster, you just want to be like, well, if that's the culture, if you don't believe in bathing because you want a natural biome of fungi on your skin, F off, hipster, take a shower. Now, I ain't going to no store where the staff smells, okay? It's bad enough that half the players smell. Cleaning supplies have to be out of view. Let me just back up. You might be thinking, oh, well, that's actually kind of stupid now because right now, with COVID in 2020 and 2021, you want to display the fact that you clean regularly. You want that spray bottle out for the world to see. The title of this article is How to Apply for WPN Premium During the Pandemic. So, no, they knew. They knew when they made this. They're just idiots. They have no clue, clearly no clue whatsoever how to run an efficient business, a clean, proper, functioning, profitable business. They're just making shit up and saying, here, do this, do it our way. We don't know what we're talking about, but do it our way. Or take my recommendation and lie about it on this thing because f them. The trash bins have to be high quality. And like I said, they have not shown a trash bin model, a commercial model that is under $300 in the appendix or whatever. They also have to be emptied often. I can't stand it when there's an overflowing garbage at any business anywhere, so I could get behind them on that one. But the like, oh, we all bought it from the same place, restaurant style swinging one that they showed that's made out of high density polyethylene. Yeah, no. And the other two are like stainless steel that you'd find in like $1 million mansion. And like only if the person was a chef. Hey, let me know down in the comments. Is that what the trash bins at your place look like? Your store that you play at? If it's even not bankrupt yet? Card storage, either in 1, in a clean, organized, and matching storage solution, or 2, out of view. I mean, what if you bought one style of box and then they were discontinued and you didn't feel like dropping $3,000 on new boxes? Just use the BCW white cardboard ones. That's what everybody does. You know what? And keep them out of view so that people don't know where to steal them. Shipping boxes / cardboard out of view. Well, not if you don't have enough room. Not if most of your sales are online. Then prioritize the online customers. Have a pile of cardboard in the corner, and if people want to say something about it, tell them to f*** off. That's what my store did. We had a whole section, a whole entire table in clear view when anybody walked in that we called the shipping and receiving department. Do you think I gave a shit? No, because I made about 75% of my income by selling shit on eBay. I prioritize my business and the layout of my place for doing things quickly to make the most amount of money, and I'm catering to the majority of my customers. And the small fraction that might give a shit, that they walk in, they're like, this doesn't look like Bed Bath & Beyond. Well, then go there, bitch. Maybe they sell magic cards. The Beyond could be literally anything. Okay, who saw my comment on the Tim Pool video? Anyway, cables / electronics properly managed. So now they care about cable management of your point of sale computer. And if it's not properly out of reach or wireless, oh, you're out of the program. You can't have a dangling cord for a mouse. Sorry, that's not pristine enough. That's not feng shui enough for them. So that's it for the housekeeping section. Let's move on to bullshit section number 3. Perhaps I shouldn't have introed it that way considering its accessibility, which I'm a big proponent of. Wizards, however, is not though, because this is the smallest section and only has 3 items. And without even reading it, I bet one of them is comply with all local laws. Comply with the ADA, really, you think? Number 1, retail and play areas, easily accessible at all times. What about when you're not open? What if you only have the play area open from 3 o'clock onward? What if you only have it available when you have proper staff there to monitor it because minors are there? No, Wizards demands that it be open at all times. If you're open, it's open. Too bad about child safety or you running your business in a safe, profitable way. F*** you. We're from Seattle, so you do things our way. They can't even run their own company. Do I need to point that out? Maybe they should worry about themselves before they worry about where my mouse cable goes in my desk for my QuickBooks computer. How about making standard not an absolute flaming dumpster fire full of shit? How about focus on that first, and then we can talk about what order I put the boxes on my shelf in, whether it's alphabetical or not. I'd actually file them all under T for they're all shit right now. So I'm not sure how you do it alphabetically then in that case. Next up, seating. Comfortably navigate while occupied. Yeah, I can't stand the ones where they overpack it. I mean, I get it. They blew up and got really popular like 2 years after opening. I mean, I've seen it. And then they add, one more table because what are they going to do? Have people stand? And then nobody can walk between them. Everybody's bonking their, trade binders and their, duffel bags and stuff on the tables, or they're just fat. Somebody pulls out a chair, hits the person behind them. I can't stand that, but it's like, what are you going to do? I mean, just kick out 6 people, kick out 6 paying customers. Once again, not a smart idea. Cram them in. Oh, well, it's slightly uncomfortable. If it was uncomfortable enough that people think you shouldn't have done it, that it's over the line unacceptable, they would leave and then the problem would solve itself, which is why you do that. It's airplane design theory. If people get to the point where the seats are so cramped and so uncomfortable that they don't want to fly, then the problem solves itself, and then you take out some of the chairs and space them out. You got to find push it to the limit of what people are willing to accept. That's how you optimize how much money you make in the lowest amount of space. Okay, would it be nice if you had a bigger place? Yes. Would it cost more money and probably not pay for itself to have 12 more players? Yes. That's why business owners don't do it. They rent a place that they can afford that's the proper size for the income. But then here comes Wizard of the Coast stomping in. Have unlimited play space. If you have one too many chairs, move your whole business because we told you to. F*** you, do it our way. Did anyone notice that this entire section has nothing to do with accessibility as far as like handicaps and stuff, or like next to nothing to do with it? So the third one is, now get this, transportation. You have to have public lines and or parking available within 1/2 mile. I'm glad they said and/or. Because that would be the most provable yet ridiculous disqualifier I have ever heard of. You're not close enough to a bus stop. You can't sell magic products. What? What if you just want to cater to people with cars? What if you realize that most people on buses, most but not all, are absolute degenerates? They have DUIs, they can't manage their finances, they can't pass a drug test to get a good job. You go to the bus stop, but first of all, that is 100% crime central in my city is the fucking bus stop. They now have a police officer stationed there at all times. That's how bad it is. Because of all the degenerates and homeless people and drug addicts. So why would you want bus people coming to your store? You know who are the smelly players? The ones who show up on public transportation. No offense, that's just what I've seen, okay? Everybody's got their situations. Maybe you got medical bills. Maybe you're 18 and your parents are assholes and kicked you out and you're barely making, $12 an hour at some shitty job. And you're riding the bus because you couldn't afford a car. Okay, I get it. Cool. Maybe you're disabled, you can't drive a car. Cool. Now you're on the bus. You're one of the normal people. The other 80% of people on the bus are batshit crazy who cannot get their life together at a basic level. They're such a walking human disaster. Why would you want that anywhere near your place? I actually had somebody, no joke, I think I told this story before. There was a bus stop, a public bus depot thing, whatever little mini covered, glass thing, right directly in front of the first place my store was. I actually moved my store. While I just happened to be closed because I had to go to a thing. I had an event that night, so I closed my store an hour early. This crazy motherfucker from another state shows up on a Greyhound, jumps on a city bus, goes to this stop, gets off, goes to the Subway restaurant, which was basically right next to my store. Like it was within walking distance. Sits there talking to himself and acting weird, then picks up a chair, throws it at the staff and threatens to kill them, then gets arrested. If you're going to open a business, let me just tell you, make sure it's not within a half mile of public transportation, okay? Make it as far away from public transportation as you possibly can. Unless you're literally selling accessibility devices like wheelchairs, move that motherfucker away from the bus lines. So I'm glad they're just like, okay, or a place to park, fine. So now that I just pissed off every single viewer of my channel who doesn't own a car, let's move on to information. Sales policies, buy, sell, credit card minimums, fees, return policy, etc., high quality, display, highly visible. That actually would be nice. It would be nice to disclose that. Some people, it's not very friendly pro-consumer terms. So to prevent loss of sales and pissed off customers and complaints that your staff don't want to hear, they just hide it on the bottom of a receipt. But it would be more pro-consumer if they put it out. It's just if you do, you're going to lose X amount of sales. So people don't do it. Next up, an event calendar, physical and online, not or online, and high quality, organized, and up to date. I mean, that is nice to just, put it up on the wall, but by high quality, I assume that wouldn't just be, some, Office Depot, Office Max. For God's sake, they merged 7 years ago. Can we get one consistent name? Just blah, whatever paper calendar stapled to the wall. Now, apparently you got to get out the decorative construction paper to make it high quality. Really? What do you mean high quality? Next up, you have to have a code of conduct, high quality, permanent, and highly visible. That's what you need right when they walk into the gaming area. Hey, here's all the stuff you can't do that we're policing. Here's a whole list of things you have to do if you don't want to get kicked out. Wow, what a friendly first welcome to have that be the highly visible, permanent thing that they see. Look, you put up that kind of shit when you want to let everybody know that it already is a problem and that you're pretending to do something about it. I prefer not posting, code of conduct rules because it's going to be be nice, don't swear, take a shower, or just take people who are being a problem and kick them out individually instead of telling everybody because the code of conduct is going to apply to 1% of people who are assholes. The other 99% don't need to see it. So it's one of those unfriendly things that when you lay out a business, you don't want to put up because it's going to scare people. Once again, they have proven they know nothing about running a business or a store. Nothing whatsoever. Next up, event information, calendar, player cap, pricing, pairing, accessible, highly visible. That just eliminated the LGS I go to. 8.5 by 11 stapled to the wall. Everybody crowds around. Well, they got this shitty app now. Doesn't that do it? Next up, the staff section, positive and professional manner. That's not a sentence. That's not even a statement. Is that what? Do they mean operate in a positive and professional manner? No, it just says just positive and professional manner. I think they mean manners. Are we missing a line here? Did they even proofread this? Does Wizards proofread anything before they put it out? In fact, the next line is you have to have a training regimen, not regiment. And yes, regimen is a word. I know this, but the reason I know this is because I worked at a hospital, and your store isn't a hospital, probably. A regimen is like medical treatment, basically. That's the connotation. That's not the textbook definition. But anyway, general plus magic product / event knowledge. Yep, they require every staff member to know like the magic rules basically and everything about everything. So it's just them trying to monopolize it and drive out their competition because they also have to learn like every board game, that they sell. And that's why usually they'll have like a board game night and sometimes they'll even be paid so that the staff can demo like 3 games in one night. And then eventually after a couple months of working there, they've played every game that they sell and they can tell them, I really like this. I think kids won't like this about the game, blah, blah, blah. And they will just skyrocket their sales by like actually knowing instead of, I don't know, it says on the back it's for 8 to 12. It might be better for older, but I've never played it. But Wizards, through this and some stuff I saw about 4 or 5 years ago about like who in the store needs to know what about what product, they're just trying to make everybody a Magic expert and then, well, maybe learn the rest of your products in your spare time too. It was quite ridiculous, very anti-competitive. I think they actually used to have a rule that you couldn't hold any other event for any other card game on a Friday. I do believe that used to be their policy. I could be mistaken though. And then I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or both put an event specifically on Friday just to try to like go to court and get some money for monopoly abuse. And then shortly after, Wizards removed that requirement. If I'm remembering this correctly, somebody could probably clear that up with a more accurate account of that. But I believe that's how it went down. But the next line on this is staff on hand who can provide Magic product event recommendations or product and event recommendations properly correlated to customer experience level. Yeah, that'd be nice. Staff on hand with knowledge of the key selling points of standard legal Magic sets. They're all shit. So what selling point would there be? The standard meta is garbage. Don't play standard. Like I get maybe that is their knowledge. This shit is terrible. Don't buy it. Here, let me show you the commander decks. I mean, I guess that would be knowledge. Then you have to have store-branded apparel. You know how fucking expensive that is? What, they want embroidered shirts for somebody who usually works there for 2 months and quits? Really? They probably just thought, if it's good enough for fast food, it's good enough for these businesses. I didn't even wear my own name tag at my shop. It said my business name, then my name, and I'm like, I'm the only one here and everybody knows me. F*** this. And I wore an unbranded Gildan shirt that I got on eBay for $11. Well, I ordered like a dozen of them. So I've been to about 5 or 6 stores and a grand total of none of them had their own merch that they were wearing. Because dress codes are bullshit and it's not a damn Wendy's. So next up is customer interaction. Here we go. Welcoming to all people, because all people are great. Homeless people are basically, have you seen Disney movies? They're lovable hobos just down on their luck traveling the railroad. Not violent, mentally unstable drug addicts and alcoholics. Definitely not dangerous, manipulative liars. You know who I wouldn't let into my store? And keep in mind, we didn't even play Magic there. I primarily did something else. It was a very, what do you call that? Conglomerate. I ran a conglomerate. Hey, if a grocery store can have a bank in it and also probably a Pizza Hut, I can sell Magic cards right alongside something that is astronomically not related, which is exactly what it was, comically enough. So, welcome all people. Okay, who would I not welcome into my store? In fact, I'd do the opposite. Unfriendly, entitled assholes, people being dicks to my other customers. Fuck them, they're getting kicked out instantly. I can't even count on one hand the amount of people I've had to kick out of my store in 7 years. Let's see, unattended children. That's just not a good idea. People talking to themselves. Yes, people, plural. Yes, I'm citing actual examples. Somebody walked in, looked around like the CIA were about to just drop a drone strike on them, and then got way too close to the counter and said that the end of the world is coming, and they handed me this unhinged shit that they pasted together in Microsoft Word from the internet about literally every conspiracy theory ever. I think it mentioned Sasquatches, lizard people, UFOs, like Agent Orange. It was all of them. And then I said, okay, that's nice. We're closing soon. Not just like aggressively, let's escalate against a mentally unstable woman. That's stupid. And she was just like, okay. And then like runs out the door, like almost Naruto run. So to get back to Wizard's point that you should welcome all people to your store, you should absolutely not. You should actually scrutinize every single person that walks in. Look at how they're acting. Look at what they're wearing. Look at the social cues, the nonverbal. I had 2 guns under the counter for a fucking good reason. I will quote, welcome and be welcoming to anybody who walks into my store when they've proven that they're not a nutcase and should be there and are there for the right reasons and are not just wasting time browsing because the bus didn't show up yet, which, God, did we have those. Oh, then we had homeless people stopping in asking my customers for money. That was fun. You know what? Just don't welcome all people. How about that? Next up, all customers immediately greeted. I fucking hate that. Do you guys hate that? I hate that. Oh, hi, welcome to, Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco, Myers. The average person's like, I'm going to do like a 2-minute in and out. I'm here to buy liquor and athlete's foot cream. Just off. That fake friendly, oh, hi, how are you doing? Like, no, you hate your job. You probably hate me too. You are absolutely not happy that I'm here. And let's be honest, you're probably also just the loss prevention specialist. So you're going to tackle me when the alarm goes off. Don't greet your customers the second they walk in the door. It's intimidating, it's annoying, and for God's sake, if you feel the need to say hi, at least don't ask them if you can immediately help them with something. Wait for the nonverbal cues, wait for them to go down the same aisle twice, wait for them to look up and down and then check the same thing twice, then ask them if you can help them find something. This is how you properly run a business. The one thing you should never do is listen to Wizards of the Coast. So once again, to reiterate, if you do not put a check in that box, if you do not say hello immediately and greet every single customer that walks in, you are not allowed to hold F&M or sell any WPN allocated anything, or have prizes or get posters or marketing materials, or just lie on this form. Anyway, next up we've got high quality online sales platform. That's probably the most egregious thing I've seen on here so far. What if you don't want to sell shit online? What if Wizards doesn't allow you to sell their products online because you're not, although they got rid of this program, a Wizards online authorized retailer? What if you don't want the hassle, the scams, the shipping? What if you don't have room for a shipping department and bubble wrap and boxes? What if you can't leave to go drop stuff up at the post office before 5 o'clock? What, do they expect people to drop 30 grand on some like crystal commerce setup for their website just so that they can mail stuff to people too lazy to drive across town? Are you kidding me? I guess what they're saying is sign up for TCG Player to liquidate some of the singles that you get stuck with. There you go. Done. Although high quality might be a stretch for TCG Player. Next up, expert social media presence on 2+ platforms. What if you don't believe in those companies like having more power than government and you're boycotting them? I'd just be like, Yellow Pages and Google business listings on Google Maps. There's 2. Screw you. Literally not social media, but still. That's just more staff hours, more wasted time to sit there and police comments on your posts, annoy people with clear, blatant spam. Ooh, new product announcement. Yeah, who cares? Keep scrolling. And to respond to messages in a timely manner, so you have to look at the screen every 3 minutes. It's a pain in the ass. Just don't even bother. Next, actively and professionally engage with customers and prioritize new customers. No, prioritize old customers because they spend the most, and they've established that. Every LGS that I've ever seen prioritizes the people who spend the most. Like, literally lets them get away with cheating on F&M. You can't prioritize harder than that. If somebody's making a $30 order and somebody's picking up a $1,000 order, I'd be like, sorry, we've got a big order coming out. Yeah, you're new, but we'll be with you in 2 minutes. That's how you keep profits high, just saying. And then events regularly promoted, which could mean anything. Put up a poster, who cares? Next up, play experience. Oh, you thought we were done. Hell no. Pre-registration available online, in-store, and or through Magic Companion app. I mean, they allow people to sign up for F&M up to 15 minutes before it begins. This is the store I used to play at. Next, online community hub available and promoted to players. Discord, Facebook groups, WhatsApp, etc. Really? So then you have to pay staff, or the owner has to do it themselves, moderate that for offensive comments and shitlords and stupid people saying stupid things. What's the benefit? Nothing. A bunch of idiots screaming at each other or an empty Discord that nobody ever talks in or does anything in. Wow, what a great use of time. Or you can ignore all that bullshit because your store isn't big enough or popular enough and run the business the way that you want to run it and the way that you know makes money and prioritize services and advertising styles that you know work. Absolutely none of the stores I know of do this. None whatsoever. I mean, they have like a Facebook page and people can react to stuff and leave a comment that says that sounds cool. Like, okay. That's not an online community. I mean, come on. Next up, on-time events. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? At the couple stores I've been to, both of which had usually 2 to 3 staff members, sometimes they get started 10 minutes late because, well, assholes would show up late. They didn't want to be rude because you shouldn't be rude to people who spend the most money at your store, which is always who it was. And sometimes because, F&M was right after work, people would pick up their kids from school or pick up their kids to go out to eat or whatever. I don't know, they'd be driving around because they're not working, and then they'd go to the store before the kids' bedtime. And so we get a flood of customers and they'd have to help them. Sometimes we were 20 minutes late for F&M, but nobody cared. Nobody said anything. We're just like, whatever, played side games, trading, because there's never enough time to trade. Because we're like, well, look, there's like 10 customers in a line and 3 staff members and they're helping them 3 at a time as quickly as they can. and the person who runs F&M is currently helping a customer. Like, we're not going to go tell them stop helping this customer and run our event. So always on time. I mean, unless you have a better reason to not run them on time. I mean, there are exemptions, just saying. This whole document is basically, hey, run your business in the most expensive, money-wasting, overstaffed, over budget way that you possibly can. Yeah, or don't, or actually make money. Take a bunch of shortcuts. Just don't piss off the customers. Next up, instructions and price details communicated at the start of events. I mean, yeah, if you ask what's the price structure, they'll tell you. I mean, you don't necessarily need a poster. The next one, staff available to assist players. Yeah, I mean, you can't just have no judge. There's like a judge dispute or a rules dispute and just nobody comes over. Usually the other players are the judges, or they used to be judges, or they're RAs, or they just know what they're talking about. So, I mean, to have staff like there just for F&M, usually, literally that's not profitable. Like if you're there for 5 hours, you probably didn't make, X amount that they're getting paid per hour plus benefits, plus unemployment, plus, workers' comp and insurance and all that. You probably didn't take in that much from F&M. I mean, in a roundabout way, intangibles, yeah, maybe you did, but eh. Next up, okay, this is probably the second most egregious thing I've seen under amenities. Food and drink. Unless you have nice carpet and a bunch of kids usually there, because that's a fun combo. What if you don't want to sell food and drink? What if you need a special license in some states to sell food and drink? I mean, yeah, prepared food, okay, pre-baked, usually you can get away with it. Not in every state, though. You'd be surprised. What if you got rid of your food and drink because of COVID? I don't know why you would. What if you just don't want to deal with that? What if there's not a good food and drink vendor in your area? What if you don't like buying something retail at Costco and then reselling it for a margin because people know that's what you did? Buying retail and then marking it up is really bad, and you're not big enough to be a wholesale vendor for foods. Hell, individual gas stations aren't usually big enough. They're usually like a chain distribution thing. They did say including water available on site, which those two things could kind of mean anything. I mean, water, and that is actually a law in some southern states that you have to provide water to people just as a safety thing. And here we go. The number one most unbelievably unrealistic, egregious nightmare that you especially wouldn't want to do in COVID. This is the new one that I recommend everybody specifically don't do. You have to have GIST computer or computers available for account creation, MTG arena demos, etc. So you're now like a what do they call those in like Japan and China? A gaming cafe. You're actually now just a place where people go to play arena and pay you $0. Congratulations. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you know what a security nightmare it is to have GIST-facing computers? Remember, I used to work at a hospital. Our GIST-facing computer was in solid bulletproof locked acrylic with like ventilated fans and filters. It had like special lockdowns past just, not running admin account shit. It might have even been like a custom OS. It might have been Windows embedded, or it was just running like a reboot loop with like deep freeze on it. And even then, the first week I worked there, I said, what if somebody did this to it? And the GM goes, oh shit. And by the way, it had to be on a separate network too. Do not have customer-facing computers to promote shit where people spend their money directly to Wizard's bank account instead of your store. That is insane. The fact that they would even ask you to do that is just unbelievable. Plus, the two dirtiest things in the average household are the computer keyboard and dish towels used in the kitchen, and sponges. For some reason, they're in the same category. That's right, those two beat out the inside of your toilet tank. Next up, almost as bad, and this is the very last one, screens/TVs for event management and advertising, which, by the way, tend to burn in. So now you need a screen, you need something to run it, which I normally would say a computer, but my God, that's 20 years out of date, just running on some shitty tablet with a micro HDMI out. I mean, you can get them at the pawn shop for $20. I'm literally describing my entire D&D group. I walked into the pawn shop, they're like, what type of tablet are you looking for? It needs to open a PDF. Okay, here's our shittiest one. It has to run pictures on a slideshow. Here, have this antique. But boy, one more thing to turn off, one more thing, like I said, to burn in, one more thing to manage. Then you gotta have somebody who knows how to put together a slideshow. Then you gotta have the software for it. Not many people know that LibreOffice is free and has a generic version of PowerPoint. I'm surprised that they didn't just start saying, oh, you have to have a camera security system too. Like, yeah, it would be nice. It's not in the budget. Stop telling me how to run my damn business. What do you have to have as a security guard and a metal detector too and an anti-theft device? Like, what business is it of theirs? Why are they telling us to do all this shit? What if you want to advertise with posters because you spent $1,000 on a really nice high-end laser printer? And, the posters stuck to a poster board look fine. Why would you then get a TV just because they told you that you're going to get kicked out of the WPN program if you don't have a TV? Oh, it's got to be digital. It's got to be so super future. Yeah, or not. What if you don't want to just waste electricity running a TV 24/7 on a loop? Like, it's ridiculous. I bet some Seattle dumbass who put this stupid thing together was like, oh, what's really super future? What should people be doing to have the highest standard? Oh, all of the Burger Kings, they went to those digital screens, which are broken all the time. I'm absolutely convinced that even the ones at McDonald's, the screens break more than the ice cream machines. Somebody actually ran a bot scraper in America. 11% of all ice cream machines at all McDonald's are broken at any given time. It's not just a meme anymore, it's a fact. But the screens, I mean, have you seen that thing flickering, bars in it? You've seen the lights? Yeah, and those are like sometimes OLEDs and shit. Like, they're really freaking expensive. So if you're like, fine, I'll pick up a basic bitch screen from like Westinghouse or Dynex or some shit brand like that, and we're just gonna run a thing on it. Oh, look, it broke. Like, you ain't playing an Xbox on it, you ain't watching the damn Super Bowl on it. Why spend money on it? Except, oh wait, all the cheapy TVs blow up, especially if you leave them on for 12 hours straight every single day. So no, unless you're a super high margin, ultra rich giant business that can afford to show off like that and have it break and just replace it when it breaks because who cares? Like a jewelry store. You ever walked into a jewelry store that doesn't have super, super expensive lighting, insanely nice interior design, all kinds of screens, advertising stuff on slideshows everywhere? It's because they can afford it. The last lawyer's office I was in had all kinds of rotating screens with facts about them. And yeah, because if a $300 TV breaks, they buy another one. I don't know if you've seen how LGSs are doing lately, but it ain't great. The margin on the average Wizards product now is like 20% on a good day. I mean, it's just terrible. You're looking to get $110 a box when you're already competing with Wizards themselves on their own Amazon account, selling against you online with free shipping. And then what is the response to that? Go buy a TV screen or we're kicking you out of our program. Are you kidding me? What an uninformed, clueless, hyper-controlling, micromanaging pile of horseshit this stupid list is. No wonder most stores aren't premium level and don't bother with premium level. So I wanted to finally outline in a video how absolutely bullshit crazy this list is and how clueless Wizards is about how LGSs operate, stay in business, how small businesses even work. It's like they put together a wish list of what the perfect store would be and then said they're all requirements. And then they put on some stuff that's just like actual laws anyway. And then some of the things they told you to do, you should actually do the exact opposite if you're an experienced business owner who knows what the they're doing. So they're almost like trying to ruin your business with this list. So normally I would just be like, haha, let's poke fun at this in a funny video. Oh, Wizards being Wizards again. Everybody's just gonna lie. Look at these ridiculous requirements that nobody meets. Ha ha ha, funny. But the fact that I used to run a store that sold Magic the Gathering products, this is like 10 times as aggravating as you could possibly imagine. It's written like a guide on how to go out of business in the first 2 years. Just wow. I mean, I'd recommend people either, like I said, absolutely bullshit this entire list and hope that they don't call your bluff, or just don't even apply to the premium program, which actually I've been, I got some eyes, let's put it that way, in some groups on some platforms that are, groups of nothing but store owners, nothing but judges. I've actually pretty much got eyes everywhere. And if they're not my eyes, they're somebody I trust, but it's usually my eyes. And the sentiment about this list is not very good. It's kind of a running gag that nobody follows any of this bullshit. And then the general sentiment between store owners is, the premium system, we'll just stay at the lower level. Oh well. Oh, and by the way, I have a couple accounts from some people, more than one account, that when they provided their point of sale data, like I said at the beginning, that was required, it's here's how much of your product I sold, for what price, when, whatever, that Wizards will just come back and deny their application and say, oh, you don't have high enough volume, even though their volume is like insane. Like they're in like the 90th, or I guess the 10th percentile, however you want to scale it, for like the highest volume game store imaginable. And they suspect it's because they just like made conservative leaning posts on Facebook, and they have investigators at Wizards that actually look into that. That it was literally a job they hired for. Not kidding. It's not a myth. They have a social media investigator to like do shit with like diversity or whatever bullshit word they want to cover their, lean left or off system is what I would call it. So yeah, why they didn't just say you need $5,000 in sales is so that they can say, oh, this is run by a minority or a woman or whatever. We'll let this store get away with absolutely anything. Here, I have free premium status. And then, gigantic mega ultra superstore selling like 10 boxes a day, but the owner's wearing a MAGA hat and a picture on Facebook. Then they can use it as an out that they didn't give a hard limit. They'll say, oh no, your volume's not big enough. It's not quite the sales patterns that we're looking for premium. I've heard that they do that. Don't know if it's true, never saw proof, but I have enough people saying that Wizards does that you gotta wonder. And plus, does that not sound like something they would do? So they might as well add a 48th item on that checklist saying you must be a liberal. And by the way, not a classic liberal like Jeremy from the Quartering / MTG headquarters. You have to be a batshit crazy neoliberal. In other words, a delusional college student who doesn't know how the world works. So yeah, mentally add that one to the list. Don't even bother applying if you think that they won't agree with your politics or moral stances on anything. And I also heard that they will kick you out of the program if you make fun of Wizards publicly for not hiring black people. So I guess we all have to help them brush that under the rug and hope it goes away. By the way, remember when the hiring person, the HR person at Wizards of the Coast tweeted out, we're looking for a non-white, blah, 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 whatever, so-and-so for this position? Which is illegal in the state of Washington where they are. I never heard about anything happening with that, by the way. So, go continue to report it. Enough people have a screenshot of the tweet. Just ask anywhere. Well, I may not have good news on that one, but I do want to end this with positivity and rainbows and sunshine because, I don't know, some of you don't like reality. Oh, pardon me. I meant to say negativity. No, I meant to say reality. But yes, Justin Garrison, one of the hiring managers for a Disney thing, I don't know, some branch, I don't know. He tweeted out, any non-white, non-male engineering managers looking for a great opportunity. U.S. remote, free Disney passes, room to grow. DM's open. Fast forward a week or two. Justin Garrison, whose name is on his Twitter profile, he's a public figure, just saying, says publicly in a tweet, people emailed HR. They suspended me for 3 weeks, had a 2+ month investigation, threatened me with legal action for various things, asked me about tweets from years ago, and my manager told me I should really question if I'm a racist or not because what I did was racist and illegal. Oh, yes. Yes, so much yes. All of the yes. Take my yeses. I'm going to shove them through the screen at you. Here, Air 5 through the screen. Let's go. Let's celebrate this. I feel like I should do a victory lap around my house. I might. I need the exercise. Had to cancel my gym membership because of COVID because my cell phone bill's out of control. But not as out of control as these stupid hiring managers at these lefty, psychotic, I live in my own bubble and then whoopsies, I have to exist in the real world and I'm breaking laws. So I would love it if the same thing would happen at Wizards, but unfortunately, Disney has a legal department. Wizards pretends to. So what they need is the Washington, I don't know, whatever employment, something, whatever the hell they have in that state, to go absolutely shove a microscope up their ass. When you already smell smoke and you walk into the building looking for the fire, you're going to find more than you thought you were looking for there. I think they will get fined to oblivion and back. Heads will roll over this absolute asshole at Wizard of the Coast tweeting out, we're only hiring non-white, non-male people for this position. In the state of Washington, where that is blatantly against the law. I guess not enough people called them out on that, or the state of Washington is just infected with SJW pieces of shit at the highest level of government, because it is a pretty shitty left state. And they just helped them brush it under the rug and refuse to, do it. Just like when they take the Antifa rioters and they arrest them for the 37th time in a row, and then they just let them go because, f it. They haven't destroyed enough public property, aka cop cars, or burnt down enough black-owned businesses yet. Nah, let them go. Literally domestic terrorists. Now let them go because they're on my team. So, Is treason still something we can charge people with? Would that even qualify? Can we do that? That's got to be literally treason, like textbook treason against the government, right? These DAs, the left, and fuck the state of Washington. Also, Wizard of the Coast for this giant list of bullshit, which, we and all the store owners are just laughing at. Maybe next time revise it and have somebody who knows how to run a fucking business write it. In fact, here, I'll write it for you right now. Like right off the cuff, no preparation, 100% live. Ready for this? Please note that you will be removed from the program if your store in any way violates accessibility laws, public health and safety laws, or takes any actions egregious enough to make Wizards of the Coast or our products look bad. Done. Unclean store? Done. Bad customers? Done. Real simple. Not, you have to frame the posters before you put them up. No, none of that micro horse shit, okay? If you're a bad store, we'll kick you out. It's at our discretion. F you. That's actually what most terms of service say. So if you enjoyed the video, leave a big ol' like on it. Thanks for watching. If you're a liberal, get the f off my channel, and I'll see you guys next video.